On the 1st of July 2022, 48-year-old Hector Compass was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison after fatally shooting his neighbour in the front yard. The incident occurred at around 1 p.m. on the 24th of January 2017, when Hector killed 53-year-old Anna Weed, located at 3411 Morning Dove Drive in Spring, Texas. The victim's family said a feud began with Hector in June of 2016, when Hector's then-wife took the couple's infant daughter on a trip to Mexico. Hector had reportedly organised the trip and later tried to cancel it, but Hector's then-wife was intent on going. She asked Anna if she could drive her and the baby girl to the airport, and she obliged, which apparently upset Hector. Hector then eventually filed for divorce. Anna's family said Hector blamed her for his wife leaving him. Months after the trip, Hector was washing his truck in his driveway when he confronted Anna in her front yard with her dog. Hector was convinced she knew where his estranged ex-wife and daughter were located. Her dog started barking at him, so he tried to kick it. And when Anna squatted down to get her dog, he fatally shot her in the chest at point-blank range. After hearing the gunfire, a neighbour rushed to the scene and pointed a gun at Hector to make sure he didn't get away, and he was turned over to the authorities. When deputies interviewed Hector, he told them that Anna had shoved him, and that she was holding gift wrap tape with the intention of choking him, so he shot her in self-defense. Anna reportedly had the wrapping tape in her hand because she was wrapping gifts for her grandson. Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg said that Hector is a violent and vengeful man who killed his neighbour simply because they did not get along. Kim added that Anna, a loving wife, mother and grandmother, is dead and her family is devastated because an angry man with a gun could not control himself. Hector is held at the Harris County Jail and will spend the rest of his life behind bars. 20-year-old Faith Kemp is behind bars and is charged with homicide after delivering a stillborn baby while using meth during her pregnancy. Faith delivered a stillborn at 38 weeks at Medicine Hospital in Morgan County, Alabama on the 13th of May 2022. She was arrested 3 days later on an outstanding warrant for bond revocation on charges of possession of a controlled substance. The Alabama Department of Forensics performed an autopsy on Faith's stillborn child. The investigators ultimately determined that Faith had used meth throughout her pregnancy. Faith was already in jail when she was charged with chemical endangerment of a child with homicide on the 29th of June. She's held at the Morgan County Jail on a $200,000 bond. If convicted, she faces between 10 years to life in prison. 45-year-old landscaper Jason Ford has been fatally shot after a driver was angry that a leaf blower blew grass clippings on his shiny car. The incident occurred at around 4:47 p.m. on the 25th of June 2022, when the paramedics responded to the intersection of Mount Olivet Road and West Virginia Avenue in Washington, D.C., on a report of a man suffering from a gunshot wound. When first responders arrived, they found Jason displaying no signs of life, and he was transported to the office of the chief medical examiner. Jason's wife, Tonya Ford, said that Jason was supervising a crew doing yard work in the Trinidad area when grass clippings landed on a shiny black car parked nearby. The driver was angry, so Jason apologized, she said. A man who appeared to be a friend of the driver rode up on a rental scooter, and he and the driver spoke. The landscaping crew left and was stopped at a light on West Virginia Avenue. That's when the man on the scooter reappeared and opened fire, hitting Jason in the chest. Tonya said that this wasn't necessary. It didn't have to happen like this. He apologized. We could have just moved on without this. She said her husband died over somebody blowing grass and him apologizing. He leaves behind his wife and 2 children. The authorities said they're searching for a black male with blue or green eyes, wearing a light shirt who headed southbound on West Virginia Avenue on a green scooter, as the investigation into the matter continues. A 22-year-old man has been arrested and charged with murder in the shooting deaths of 3 people, while critically injuring 4 others in the Field shopping mall in Copenhagen, Denmark. The man has been detained in a secure mental health facility. On the 3rd of July 2022, families were shopping and eating out at the mall when the gunman entered just prior to 5:30 p.m, displaying a hunting rifle and wearing knee-high shorts and a tank top. He was also armed with a pistol and a knife. At 5:37 p.m, the gunman opened fire and the authorities responded to the scene. More than 100 people rushed for the exit screaming as the first shots were fired, while many others tried hiding in the shops. One witness said that the suspect was sufficiently psychopathic to go and hunt people, but he wasn't running. Within 11 minutes of the shooting beginning, it had ended after the authorities took the gunman into custody. The suspect, whose name was not released, reportedly had no criminal history, but the police chief, Soren Thomason, confirmed the gunman was known amongst the psychiatric services, but did not want to comment any further on that. The police chief could not yet comment on a motive, but said there seemed to have been preparation ahead of the attack and that the 22-year-old suspect was not aided by anyone else. The police chief said that nothing so far indicates that this was a terrorist attack. The suspect did not have any relationships or links to any of the victims, he said. The guns the suspect had were legal in Denmark, but the gunman did not have a license for them, the police chief said. The identity of those killed have not been released, but the authorities said that they are two 17-year-old Danes, one female, one male, and a 47-year-old Russian man living in Denmark. The four critically injured are two Danes, a 40-year-old woman, and a 19-year-old woman, and two Swedes, a 50-year-old man and a 16-year-old girl, the authorities said. The mass shooting is the first in Denmark since the 2015 Copenhagen shootings.